When they hear the word Sharia, they only think of penal codes, and they fear that the Muslims are trying to implement the penal codes in the Sharia penal codes in the US. No, that is not the case. All we are trying to do is retain what we have. But when anti-Sharia laws are being brought to various states, they have these very generic statements of banning Sharia. If they ban Sharia, then I cannot go to the mosque.
David Nelson,
yes, can I follow up on that a little bit? I'm just curious about the Jewish and Muslim tradition, if you have a similar sort of thing as civil disobedience. Laws that said that African Americans could be owned as slaves or could be oppressed. And there were people in this country who were laws that said that women cannot have the right to vote. There were people who said the law of the land is the law of the land. There were religious people, and I'm more familiar with them from the Christian tradition, who said an illegal law is a law that I must break and accept the consequences of breaking that law. So they engage in acts of civil disobedience. Is there a similar tradition in the Jewish and Muslim world?
So, like I said, we have to, as Muslims, the Sharia says that we have to follow the law of the land as long as the law of the land does not break the law of the Creator.
And what do you do then?
So then we cannot follow, because let's say, for example, if the country comes up and says that you have to make all your businesses based on interest, then we cannot obey that law.
Hi, I just had one quick question. Recently, Faizan Saeed from CARE, Missouri, was in a story that he had mentioned that he was wanting to start a task force on the internet to basically patrol the internet, that anyone that insulted Prophet Muhammad should be reported to the authorities and should be prosecuted under Sharia. So I wanted to know, what is that prosecution under Sharia for someone that insults the Prophet?
Yes.
I just want to say something. I personally know Faizan, and what happened was the article was actually written by a very biased author, and he specifically said multiple times that is not what he said, and if anyone thinks he did say that, he completely takes it back. But he's apologized multiple times on the internet, and that's not what he said. He does not believe that people should go on the internet prosecuting people. It was just a very big misunderstanding, so I just wanted to mention that. And also, Islam doesn't say anything about persecuting anyone that's not Muslim if they say anything bad about the Prophet. People used to throw stones at the Prophet, and people would be right next to him, and they didn't do anything about it. So, I mean, there shouldn't be any reason why we go overboard.
Looks like she answered the question.
you're on the panel next time.
So the thing is, actually, what she's saying is correct. And there are very clear instructions in the Quran. For lack of time, I'm not going to go into those details, but I do agree with the sister. I know Faizan Saeed personally, and I don't think he's kind of the person who would say such a thing.
All right, thank you very much for all of the questions. How about one more round of applause for our panelists? I know there's a lot more questions, but maybe we can set up some sort of email or a way that they can still ask their questions